Hello students, welcome back to my channel. I hope you have watched the previous videos thoroughly. Now today in this video we are going to study a very important topic, catalyst. Fine. So let's start. Now before we start catalyst specifically, let me give you a brief preview of what we have studied and some important tips. Okay. So over here we have seen in the last video, that is what is Freundlich adsorption isotherm, isn't it? And that was there one relation was being given, that is x by m is equals to kp to the power of 1 by n. Fine. Where x by m was extent of adsorption. Fine. Now this particular relation was specifically for the adsorption of gases on solids. But if we are having liquids as adsorbate, that is we want to adsorb liquids on solids, then there will be a slight change in this relation. Now the relation will become x by m is equals to k c to the power of 1 by n. Okay, this is for what? Liquids on solids. Fine. So and here C represents what? C is the concentration of the liquid. So for adsorption of liquids on gases, this is the slight modification. Fine. This will be now the relation. Also, you have studied the differences between physisorption and chemisorption. Now, there were many differences. One important point was there, that is in physisorption, which type of forces are there? Weak van der Waals forces are there between the adsorbate and adsorbent. Okay. Now, and in chemisorption, between adsorbate and adsorbent, there were some chemical bonds being formed. Okay. That means some chemical reactions were occurring between adsorbate and adsorbent. So, now comes this term catalyst, fine, into the picture. Okay, that is when we are talking about chemical reactions specifically, then catalyst will be considered. Okay, now first of all, let me define what is catalyst. Catalyst is a substance which alters the rate of reaction without itself undergoing any change in mass and chemical composition at the end of chemical reaction. Okay, that means a particular catalyst, it participates in the chemical reaction. Okay, it helps to speed up the chemical reaction, but it itself does not undergo any change. Okay, let me give you one example. See, we have potassium chloride. We are taking one chemical reaction. This is potassium chloride. We know when we heat it, it undergoes decomposition to give KCl, potassium chloride, and oxygen. Okay, we need to balance this. Fine. So this is the balanced equation. Okay. So now normally when this particular reaction occurs without catalyst, then it requires around 600 to 800 Kelvin temperature. Okay. Then but when the same particular reaction we carry out in presence of catalyst, ठीक है, अभी हम इसमें catalyst use करेंगे, which is MnO2, manganese dioxide, then the reaction will occur quickly. स्पीड जो है रिएक्शन की वो काफ़ी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, यानी कि रेट इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, एंड नाउ द रिएक्शन विल अकर मोर स्पीडीली और वी कैन से एट अ लोअर टेम्परेचर अराउंड 473 टू 633 केल्विन. ठीक है, इस इतने लोअर टेम्परेचर में ये रिएक्शन अकर होगा. फाइन. Now let me give you one more example of a day-to-day life. For example, now what you are doing? You are studying fine chemistry from me. Okay. Now I am a catalyst for you. Fine. Because I am helping you to study chemistry in a lesser interval of time. Okay. I am getting involved in the chemical reaction. Your studying is the chemical reaction. Okay, I am getting involved, I am helping you to increase the rate of reaction, यानी कि आप जल्दी पढ़ पा रहे हैं with my help. Okay, and but the means at the end there is no change, means I am not going to give your exams, okay, whatever you are going to give your board exams etc, वो product है उधर, हम मैं उसमें कोई participation नहीं करने वाली हूँ. I am only working as a catalyst. I am helping you to study, okay, the entire year, and then the product is your board exam result, fine, which you are only going to give. Is that clear? Okay, so catalyst, it helps, okay, to increase the rate of reaction, but it itself does not undergo any change. I will remain unchanged. You will pass class 12th and move out. Then the next batch of students will come. Okay, many students I will be teaching. I will be working as the catalyst. Okay, that's what I told you. Catalyst remains unchanged after the chemical reaction, at the end of the chemical reaction. Okay, this word catalyst was given by a scientist named Berzelius. And what is catalysis? Catalysis is the phenomenon of increasing the rate of reaction by the use of catalyst. Okay, now let us see the characteristics of the catalyst. The first characteristic is it may undergo some temporary change, fine, but at the end of the reaction it is recovered. Okay, so we can say like this, that reactant plus catalyst, we are adding catalyst in the reactant only. Okay, it will form product plus catalyst. Okay, that means the catalyst will remain as it is, it will remain unchanged. Okay, then it only may undergo some temporary changes in its structure while the bond formation and all. Okay, second one is it speeds up chemical reaction, but it does not shifts the equilibrium. Equilibrium chapter you have studied in class 11th. Okay, so if for equilibrium, that means if this is a particular reversible reaction, A to B and B to C, this is rate of forward reaction and this is rate of backward reaction. So it will catalyze both rate of forward, that is forward, as well as backward reaction in the same manner. That is why the equilibrium will not shift. The equilibrium will remain as it is. Okay, again I am repeating, it catalyzes the rate of both forward and backward reaction in the same manner. Okay, then third is it is highly specific in nature. We cannot use any catalyst for whatever we want those reactants or reactions. Okay, we can use catalyst, specific catalysts are there for specific chemical reactions. Okay, then because they have to form chemical bonds. Then fourth point, it does not change the thermodynamic parameters. Thermodynamic parameters like Gibbs energy, del G, U, that is internal energy, del S entropy, and del H, that is enthalpy. It will not give any change, or it will not affect any parameters, thermodynamic parameters as such. Now we'll see function of catalyst. Okay, now how does catalyst function? So over here, see, I have drawn a graph of energy versus reaction path. See, most of the reactions, they require some initial energy to start up, isn't it? And that initial energy is known as activation energy. So over here we can see this is reactant, these are the product. Okay, so this first curve over here, this curve shows the activation energy EA of uncatalyzed reaction. That is, when you are not adding a catalyst, then this much energy will be required. A higher activation energy is required. In the same reaction, if you are adding a catalyst, so you can see the curve is lower. That means when you add a catalyst, then the activation energy becomes lower. That means now we need to give lesser amount of energy to increase the particular chemical reaction, to initiate the particular chemical reaction. So obviously if you require lesser energy, then the particular chemical reaction will occur more speedily or easily, isn't it? So how does that catalyst work? Catalyst, it basically lowers the activation energy of a particular substance, chemical reaction, okay, and then therefore because of that the chemical reaction will occur speedily or quickly, okay. Now see, there are two more important terms related to this: promoters and poisons, okay. Now what are promoters and what are poisons? As the name suggests, promoter means which will promote, okay, the activity of catalyst. Understand this point. Promoters, they are the substances which increase the activity of catalyst. Fine. Promote करते हैं. Promoters are the substances which increase the activity of catalyst. Okay. Then one more term I have told you over there. Poisons. Poison, as the name suggests, these are the substances which will decrease the activity of a particular catalyst. Okay. They can be any metal like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, arsenic, etc. So just understand these two terms. Promoters, they act on catalyst. They increase the activity of the catalyst, okay. Whereas poisons, they decrease the activity of the catalyst. So in a particular chemical reactions, okay. We can take example for promoter over here. See, N2 plus H2, it will give NH3. Fine. This is Haber's process. In Haber's process, iron is used as the catalyst. This is what? Catalyst, okay. And MO, molybdenum, is used as the promoter. Molybdenum will help to increase the activity of this catalyst Fe. And already I told you, poisons, they decrease the activity of the catalyst. Poisons can be like carbon monoxide, arsenic, etc. Now let us see classification of catalyst. Catalysts are being classified into two types: homogeneous catalysts and heterogeneous catalyst, okay. Now homogeneous catalysts are those catalysts which are in the same phase as that of the reactant, okay. Catalyst and reactants are in same phase. Same phase means solid, liquid or gas. Heterogeneous, when the catalyst and reactants are in different phase. Okay, let us take one example for both. Homogeneous catalyst, SO2 plus O2, both are in form of gases, okay. In this NO, nitric oxide, okay, that is used, that is again in form of gas, then you will get SO3, okay. Then for heterogeneous catalyst, we can take this example: N2 plus H2 in presence of Fe, it gives NH3, okay. Here they are gases and Fe will be solid. Clear? So that is, this is also gas here. Ammonia is also in form of gas. Fine. So now you can understand the difference between both. Homogeneous, here the catalysts are in the catalyst and reactants are in the same phase. There are several examples. I have given you one. Heterogeneous, where catalysts and reactants are in the different phase. Now, how does heterogeneous catalysis occurs? That is explained by a theory which is called as adsorption theory. There are few steps first of all given. द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज डिफ्यूजन ऑफ रिएक्टेंट्स टू द सरफेस ऑफ कैटलिस्ट, दैट इज जो रिएक्टेंट्स मॉलिक्यूल होते हैं वो डिफ्यूज होके कैटलिस्ट के सरफेस के ऊपर आ जाते हैं. सेकेंड इज एड्सॉर्प्शन ऑफ रिएक्टेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ कैटलिस्ट. अब जो रिएक्टेंट्स डिफ्यूज होके सरफेस पे आए हैं कैटलिस्ट के, वो क्या होंगे, एड्सॉर्ब हो जाएंगे. द थर्ड स्टेप इज अकरेंस ऑफ द रिएक्शन ऑन द कैटलिस्ट सरफेस. अब जब एड्सॉर्प्शन हो गया है रिएक्टेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स का सरफेस के ऊपर कैटलिस्ट के, सो क्या होगा, रिएक्शन अकर होगा. ओके, एंड रिएक्शन विल अकर ऑन द कैटलिस्ट सरफेस. और जब रिएक्शन अकर होगा सो इंटरमीडिएट विल बी फॉर्म्ड फर्स्ट. फाइन. Then the fourth step is desorption of reaction products from the catalyst surface. That is, अब जो भी reaction हुआ है तो उसका डिजॉर्प्शन होना भी जरूरी है. फाइन. सो डिजॉर्प्शन होगा, डिजॉर्प्शन मतलब रिमूवल, रिमूव हो जाएगा जो भी प्रोडक्ट है कैटलिस्ट के सरफेस से. एंड द फिफ्थ पॉइंट इज, और फिफ्थ स्टेप इज डिफ्यूजन ऑफ रिएक्शन प्रोडक्ट्स अवे फ्रॉम द कैटलिस्ट. जो भी रिएक्शन प्रोडक्ट्स हैं डिफ्यूज होके कैटलिस्ट से दूर चले जाएंगे एंड द कैटलिस्ट विल again be recovered back so that it can bind some more new reactant molecules. Okay, now let us see it diagrammatically. See the first step here, this is a catalyst which is having free valencies. It is told by adsorption theory, it is explained in the adsorption theory that catalyst, its surface is having some free valencies where the reactant molecules are coming and binding. Valencies means some functional groups. Okay, so A and B are the reacting molecules, they get adsorbed. You can see over here in this second figure, AB got adsorbed over the catalyst surface. Now adsorption has occurred. Okay, now there will be reaction, chemical reaction between the catalyst and the reactant molecules after adsorption. So you can see between A and B there is a bond shown over here. That means an intermediate is being formed. Now the desorption of product molecule, now this product which is A, B is being desorbed and the catalyst is being produced or recovered as it is after the heterogeneous catalysis. Next topic is features of solid catalyst. Now basically solid catalysts are metals, their oxides, their sulfides, etc. Okay. Now, how much effective a particular solid catalyst is? It depends upon two aspects. One is activity and another one is selectivity. Okay. Now, first of all, what is activity? Activity, it is the ability of a catalyst to increase the rate of a chemical reaction. ठीक है. Means कोई catalyst कितना पर्टिकुलर केमिकल रिएक्शन के रेट को इंक्रीज कर सकता है. ओके, दैट इज इट्स एक्टिविटी. अब एक्टिविटी जो है वो बेसिकली किस पे डिपेंड करती है? इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ केमिजॉर्प्शन. ओके, एक्टिविटी किस पे डिपेंड करती है? स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ केमिजॉर्प्शन. केमिजॉर्प्शन यू नो व्हाट इट इज. ओके, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ केमिजॉर्प्शन का मतलब होता है कि कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग रिएक्टेंट और कैटलिस्ट के बीच में बॉन्ड बन रहा है. ओके, दैट मीन्स द बॉन्ड बिटवीन व्हेन कैटलिस्ट is getting adsorbed over the reactant is getting adsorbed over the catalyst, it should adsorb reasonably strong. ठीक है, reasonably strong मतलब जितनी ज़रूरत है उतनी, ना ही बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रांगली रिएक्टेंट कैटलिस्ट के ऊपर एड्सॉर्ब हो, ना ही बहुत ज़्यादा वीकली. ओके, रीजनेबली स्ट्रांग हो कि जब रिएक्टेंट कैटलिस्ट के ऊपर एड्सॉर्ब हो जाए तो जो भी कैटलिस्ट है वो एक्टिव हो जाए. ठीक है, ताकि रिएक्टेंट को प्रोडक्ट्स में कन्वर्ट कर सके. इतना ही स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए हमें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ द बॉन्ड बिटवीन कैटलिस्ट एंड रिएक्टेंट इज टू स्ट्रांग, बहुत स्ट्रांग बॉन्ड बन गया, तो क्या होगा कि प्रोडक्ट बनने के बाद भी प्रोडक्ट नहीं डिफ्यूज आउट होंगे. ठीक है, मतलब catalyst will be useless, because now the reactants have binded so tightly, strongly, कि even after the product formation the product are not being diffused, so the catalyst becomes useless. It cannot be used for the next reactants. Okay, और ना ही बहुत weak bond होना चाहिए between catalyst and the reactant. If there is a weak bond between catalyst and reactant, then what will happen? प्रोडक्ट बनने के पहले ही रिएक्टेंट डिफ्यूज आउट हो सकते हैं कैटलिस्ट के सरफेस से. देन ऑल्सो द केमिकल रिएक्शन विल नॉट अकर इन अ प्रॉपर मैनर. ओके, सो एक्टिविटी इज द एबिलिटी ऑफ अ कैटलिस्ट टू इंक्रीज द रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन. और रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन प्रॉपरली तभी इंक्रीज किया जा सकता है जब स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ केमिजॉर्प्शन रीजनेबली स्ट्रांग होगी, ना ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग ना ही बहुत वीक, रीजनेबली स्ट्रांग, ताकि कैटलिस्ट जो है वो एक्टिव हो जाए बस प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए. द सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट इज, और द सेकेंड फीचर इज selectivity. Okay, now what does selectivity means? Fine, selectivity, it is the ability of a catalyst to direct a reaction to give a specific product, एक particular product देने के लिए. हम already characteristics में पढ़ चुके हैं that catalysts are highly specific in nature. आप कोई भी catalyst किसी भी reaction में use नहीं कर सकते हो. Okay, so see, we have taken few examples here. We can see over here in all the three reactions we have same reactant. हमारे पास reactant same है, which are carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Okay, but if you are using different catalyst, we will obtain different products. See, in the first case nickel is used, you are obtaining methane and water. Here copper, zinc oxide or chromium oxide if you are using, then we are obtaining methanol. If we are using copper only, then copper in presence of this you are using, then methanol. Only copper, then you are getting methanol. Okay, so selectivity, it shows the specific nature of catalyst, its ability to give a particular product. Fine. See, now we have seen already the solid catalyst which have been used in different chemical reactions, but you know there are many chemical reactions occurring in our body also. Okay, and those reactions which are occurring in our body are very slow. Okay, most of them are slow reactions only, so they also need to be catalyzed. So inside our body, those chemical reactions which are being catalyzed, okay, by certain substances, those particular substances are called as enzymes. Fine. So let us define enzymes. They are such biological catalyst only. So enzymes are biological catalysts produced by living cells which catalyze the biochemical reactions in living organisms. Okay, so they will specifically, enzymes specifically, they are some proteinaceous substances and they they catalyze only the reactions in the living organisms like animal, plants, etc. Okay, animals and plants basically. Fine. We can take few examples like glucose, that is C6H12O6 is converted to ethanol, C2H5OH plus CO2 in presence of an enzyme called zymase. So this zymase is what? It is a enzyme that is biological catalyst. One more example let me give you. Sucrose, C12H22O11. Sucrose, it gets converted to glucose plus fructose. Okay, in presence of an enzyme invertase. Okay, here it is zymase invertase. Glucose and fructose, both the formula is C6H12O6. Fine. So these are few examples. There are so many enzymes working in our body because of which only we are able to live. Okay, our life processes are sustained. Fine. Now we will see the characteristics of enzyme catalyst. The first important characteristic is they are highly efficient. See, you know, one single enzyme molecule can catalyze 1 million reactant per minute. Such is the efficiency of an enzyme. Okay. Then they are highly specific in nature. Already we have seen in solid catalysts that they were highly specific. So obviously the same is the case with these enzymes also. These enzyme catalysts are also highly specific. Like if I am talking about invertase, invertase will not act upon any other reactant instead of sucrose. Okay, zymase will act upon basically what? Glucose only. So therefore they are highly specific because they react and form some chemical bonds with the functional group present on the reactant molecules. Okay, optimum temperature. Optimum temperature is the temperature at which the activity of the enzyme is maximum. Okay, so in case of enzymes, the optimum temperature is our normal body temperature, which is 37 degrees Celsius or 310 Kelvin. Fine. That is, at this temperature the enzyme will function at its maximum. Okay, a maximum activity will be shown, and on the either sides of the temperature the activity will be decreased. Activity of what? Enzyme. Okay, it will be decreased. Then optimum pH. Again the same thing, there is a particular pH range at which the activity of enzyme will be maximum, and that is 5 to 7. Okay, when the pH is 5 to 7 like in our body, fine, then the activity of these enzymes will be maximum. If the pH is below 5 or above 7, then the activity of enzyme will be decreasing. Increasing activity in presence of activators and coenzymes. Activators are the substances, specifically they are metal ions, which will increase the activity of the enzyme catalyst. Okay, they will bind with the enzymes and they will increase the activity. Coenzymes also increase the activity of enzyme catalyst, but there are some small organic molecule or non-protein parts, okay, which are associated. Co means associated with the enzymes. Fine. So both are increasing the activity, but their constituents are different. Next is influence of inhibitors and poisons, the last characteristic. Okay, inhibitors and poisons, as the name suggests, they will inhibit the activity or decrease the activity of the particular enzyme. Okay, now poisons we have seen earlier also in case of solid catalyst. They are also the same function, they decrease the activity of the catalyst. Here inhibitors and poisons, same function, that is they also decrease the activity of the enzyme catalyst. Fine. They are very important, like for example many drugs, that is medicines, they are used for treatment of certain diseases and all. They are acting like inhibitors and poisons only. We are going to study this thing in detail in further chapter of class 12th itself. See, you can see here several examples of enzymes over here. Few examples I already gave you. Now there are so many other enzymatic reactions occurring. Sucrose, it gets converted to glucose and fructose by invertase. Okay, starch to maltose is converted by diastase. Maltose to glucose, 2 molecules of glucose are being given by maltose, and the enzyme used here is maltase, and so on. Zymase acts on glucose to give alcohol, ethyl alcohol plus CO2. Okay. Similar way, urease enzyme acts and releases CO2 and ammonia. On proteins, pepsin acts to give amino acids. On lactase to give glucose plus galactose. And on milk, lactobacilli act to give curd. So these are the various examples of enzymes. Fine. Now how does the enzyme catalyst work? What is their mechanism? So see, enzymes have some active site, like the solid catalyst were having some free valencies, that is functional groups where the reactants were coming and binding. Similar way, for enzymes there are some active sites. Okay, now what are active sites? They are nothing but the specific regions on the enzyme surface that possess active groups, that is the functional groups, जिन पे आके reactant easily bind कर पाता है. Okay, so they are known as the active sites. नाउ सबस्ट्रेट जिनका स्ट्रक्चर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री होता है एक्टिव साइट के, जैसे लॉक और की होता है उस तरीके से वो ही सबस्ट्रेट आके इजीली इनके ऊपर बाइंड करेगा. ओके, it will come and bind on the active side. Fine, so you can see the diagram over here. First enzyme will bind with the substrate. When I am saying substrate means what? It is the reactant molecule. Okay, that's what it is written here. See, E plus is, E is enzyme, S is substrate, that is the reactant. Okay, on E the active site, this arrow will be here, E will be the active site. Okay, and when E combines with S, that is substrate, जो reactant है वो E की active site के ऊपर आके bind करता है, तो क्या बनता है? ES, that is enzyme substrate complex. Fine. फिर reaction occur होगा यहाँ पे, enzyme will be recovered as it is, और जो substrate है यानी reactant है वो क्या बनाएगा? Products, and the products will be diffused away. So you can see here two steps are there for the mechanism. First is binding of enzyme with the substrate, E plus S, it gives ES, that is the intermediate, and step 2 is decomposition of activated complex. ये जो ES बनता है इसको हम बोलते हैं activated complex. इसको decompose किया जाता है और क्या बनाया जाता है? Product. So this activated complex is decomposed to give E plus P. Here also enzyme is recovered as it is. Temporary change may occur, but finally it is recovered as it is. Next is zeolites, shape selective catalyst. Now what are shape selective catalyst? First of all, the catalytic reactions which depend upon the pore structure of catalyst and the size of reactant and the product molecules are called as shape selective catalysis. Okay, and this is the example of zeolite is an example of shape selective catalyst. Fine. Now zeolite, it is having a honeycomb structure. honeycomb मतलब मधुमक्खी के छत्ते जैसा, ठीक है, जैसे उसमें पोर्स होते हैं, इसका स्ट्रक्चर भी उसी तरीके से होता है. देन इट इज माइक्रोपोरस एल्यूमिनोसिलिकेट. माइक्रोपोरस मतलब जो पोर्स हैं जियोलाइट के ऊपर, कैटलिस्ट के ऊपर, वो बहुत ही माइक्रो साइज के छोटे छोटे पोर्स होते हैं. ओके, ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड यू कि इनमें जो कैटालिटिक रिएक्शन है वो किस पे डिपेंड करता है? पोर साइज के ऊपर ऑफ द कैटलिस्ट, पोर स्ट्रक्चर. देन इट इज हैविंग अ 3D नेटवर्क ऑफ सिलिकेट. एक 3D पूरा नेटवर्क होता है सिलिकेट का, वेयर सम ऑफ द सिलिकॉन एटम्स आर रिप्लेस्ड बाय द एल्यूमिनियम एटम. ओके, जैसे ये है फॉर एग्जांपल, इस तरीके का एक है. आई कैन नॉट ड्रॉ हेयर 3D, मैं ऐसे 2D बता रही हूँ आपको. फाइन, यहाँ पे जैसे कुछ सिलिकॉन एटम्स बना देती हूँ मैं. फाइन, सच अ 3D नेटवर्क इज देयर ऑफ सिलिकेट. अब इसमें से जब कुछ सिलिकॉन एटम्स, फ्यू सिलिकॉन एटम्स आर रिप्लेस्ड बाय एल्यूमिनियम एटम, देन दे आर कॉल्ड एज एल्यूमिनोसिलिकेट. ओके, सो सच अ 3D नेटवर्क ऑफ एल्यूमिनोसिलिकेट इज देयर, एंड यहाँ पे पोर्स साइज होते हैं जिन पे कैटालिसिस अकर होता है. नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ सच अ स्ट्रक्चर, पोर स्ट्रक्चर जो है उसकी वजह से क्या हो जाता है? द सरफेस एरिया इज एनॉर्मियसली इंक्रीज, बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज हो जाता है. Okay, and that is why they have wide uses. Basically they are used in petrochemical industries for cracking of hydrocarbons and all. Fine, and one of the example I've given you, ZSM-5, it is used for conversion of alcohols to gasoline. Okay, so these are zeolites, shape selective catalyst, which depend, where the catalysis depends upon the pore structure and the size of the reactant and product molecules. Okay, so this was all about the catalyst, their characteristics, features, enzyme catalyst, zeolites, etc. We are over with this topic. Now stay tuned for the next video, which will be on colloids, a very important part for board exams. Most of the questions come from this particular topic, that is colloids, which we are going to discuss in the next video. Okay, stay tuned.